All right, it's quiz time because I like quizzes and things. So I found the political compass quiz thing. I don't know really what that's gonna mean, but let's. It might be fun. Let's give it a go. So, I should say that if anybody wants to do the quiz, then they should do it before watching my answers because it will spoil it and stuff. And yeah, so I hope someone can do it too so we can compare. But you better not watch me first. Okay, let's go. Before taking the test, please notice in the survey their propositions. To question the logic of individual ones that irritate you is to miss the point. Some propositions are extreme and some are moderate. That's how we show you whether you lean towards extremism or moderation. That's very interesting. Your responses should not be overthought. Some of them are intentionally vague. Their purpose is to trigger reactions, measuring feelings and prejudices, rather than detailed opinions on policy. Very, they've thought that through, haven't they? Okay, let's go. Question. Just a few propositions to start with concerning no less how you see the country and the world. Okay, all right, here we go. Question one. If economic globalization is inevitable, oh my goodness, what a way to start. It should primarily serve humanity rather than the interests of transnational corporations. That is correct. Yes. If we're obviously, being forced into economic globalization is not the best goal for humanity, but like it says, if it is inevitable, if that is the goal that we have to be forced into, then yes, it should serve humanity rather than the interests of transnational corporations. Strongly agree. I hope we're off to a good start. Okay. Next question. I'd always support my country, whether it was right or wrong. No, that's a stupid thing to do. Because people aren't always right. Just because they're in control of a whole country doesn't mean it's right, does it? Anyway. No one chooses their country of birth, so it's foolish to be proud of it. Well, that's not fair because some people might want to be proud of it. You're allowed to be proud of where you're born. Yeah, it is not foolish, therefore I disagree. Okay. Next. Our race has many superior qualities compared to other races. What other races? Human races? Or what does that mean? Like pigs? What does that mean? I don't get it. Oh, what? I see. Oh, I get it. This just goes to show how how much I don't even understand how ridiculous that is a statement of. I don't even understand what it means. I thought they meant like giraffes or something. I think they mean other countries. That's rude. Our race is basically a quote. No, strongly disagree. That's not how it works. There's only... See, I just thought there was one race, the human race. That's the only race I could think of. I was thinking of giraffes. Anyway. The enemy of my enemy is my friend. Now, hang on a minute. This is complicated. So I thought, right, the enemy of my... So who's my enemy? All right, think of my enemy. And then the enemy of them. Well, that doesn't make sense. I don't even know who they are. Disagree. Right? If I agreed with that, that would mean that the person that I hate, the person who hates them, I would like. But that doesn't make any sense, so I'm going to disagree. Next question. Military action. This is so complicated. Military action that defies international law is sometimes justified. I don't think any military action is justified. To be honest, military action that defies international law. International law is between nations, right? So I guess strongly disagree because
Any military action is stupid, but anyway.
I guess that's the right thing to answer. Strongly disagree. Next question. There is now a worrying fusion of information and entertainment.
What does that mean?
That's quite a question. I think I'm going to say agree, because you do very much see on television things that are... The television studio has presented it in an informative way, but actually they've shot it and done it in such a way that they're going to make money out of the entertainment value of it. I think that's a sensible answer.
This is complicated. Oh dear. Next page.
Yay. Now the economy. We're talking attitudes, not the FTSE. I don't know what that is.
What is that?
Anyway, next question. People are ultimately divided more by class than nationality.
What? I don't get it.
So we're saying that a rich person in one country is more separated from a poor person in their own country than the poor person is separated from a poor person in another country. Agree? I think
this is hard. This is a hard quiz.
Controlling inflation is more important than controlling unemployment.
I don't know, actually. I'm not any good at money.
This whole section is on money, actually. I'm not any good at money numbers. Okay, because corporations could not be trusted to voluntarily protect the environment, they require regulation. Yes!
Yes, they do. That's correct.
Okay, I can't say require regulation. Can't say it. Yes, that is correct, isn't it? Strongly agree. Okay, next. From each according to his ability, to each according to his need, is a fundamentally good idea. Oh, these are so written in complicated. Right, let's try this. From each according to his ability, to each according to his need.
What does that mean?
Perhaps if you lack ability, you require need. So let's say you have a very bad ability, like you're a sick person, then that would that would relate to your need, because you have a function of need because you're sick. And so it says, is that a good idea? I don't know. I'm just going to put agree because that's how I'm interpreting it. The freer the market, the freer the people. What sort of market? What does that mean? I'm so bad at this. I'm going to have to, I guess I'll say yes. I don't really know how to answer this question. Economy is hard for me. I'm sorry. It's just, how many more economy questions are there? Oh my gosh, there's so many. Oh my gosh. 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 Economy. It's a sad reflection on our society that something as basic as drinking water is now a bottled, branded consumer product.
Yeah, that's a funny question. That's true. That is a sad reflection.
That is a very funny question. Well done, question writer. Land shouldn't be a commodity to be bought or sold. I'm going to say agree. I think, let's just go with that. It is regrettable that many personal fortunes are made by people who simply manipulate money and contribute nothing for their society. I suppose that is regrettable. I suppose. Protectionism is sometimes necessary in trade. What is that? What is protectionism? We're going to have to look that up now. Hang on a minute. Hang on, oh my gosh. This is so complicated. I don't know, economy's confusion. Anyway. The only social responsibility of a company should be to deliver a profit to its shareholders.
What? That's a stupid thing. What's the point of being a company if you're only trying to make money?
Like if you're
if you're a blanket making company, your job is to make blankets for old ladies. I've got a blanket on my lap right now, actually. Strongly disagree, I presume. The rich are too highly taxed. No, not enough. The percentage is terribly, Those with the ability to pay should have access to higher standards of medical care. I presume that everybody should have access to high standards of medical care. I guess. So I guess I'll just put disagree. Next. Government should penalise businesses that mislead the public. Agree. A genuine free market requires restrictions on the ability of predator multinationals to create monopolies. Oh. There's a lot of words out there. I have a degree in English. A genuine free market requires restrictions on the ability of predator multinationals to create monopolies. Yes. Strongly agree. Yes, because restrictions are required because they are predator multinational corporations who try to create monopolies, so restrictions must be applied. Yeah? Oh, let's never come back to the economy page. Next part. Now look at some of your personal values. Abortion, when the woman's life is not threatened, should always be illegal. Strongly disagree, huh? Because it's her choice. All authority should be questioned. Agree? Because no one is right all of the time? I mean, I remember, I think the biggest example is going through school, because when I went through school, and when you're little, you just go through school. You've been through school since you were 4, and you're all going through school, and you just always think, yeah, teacher's right. And I ended up getting into a lot of arguments with the teachers because I slowly over time realised, it wasn't until I finally left school that I realised that actually they're kind of wrong. Sometimes. You know. Anyway, an eye for an eye and a tooth for a tooth. So stupid. Disagree. That's just your personal opinion. Taxpayers should not be expected to prop up any theatres or museums that cannot survive on a commercial basis. That's an interesting question. Should not be. I'm going to say disagree, because those things are a show of human ability, theatres and museums, and to expect all of that tax money to relate only to, governmental development or that sort of thing, it doesn't really, it's still important to have these fringe pieces of exciting entertainment and history, I think. And I like museums and theatres and stuff, so, Schools should not make classroom attendance compulsory. I think that's probably true, because school is not for everybody. Some people just don't fit with school, and it's funny that everyone in society, everyone just goes through school. Okay, off you go to school, but that doesn't relate to how we are from a human perspective, I don't think, entirely. It's like Alan Watts says. Alan says, in school, we unlearn everything we already know. Or something like that, anyway. All people have their rights, but it is better for all of us that different sorts of people should keep to their own kind. Eh? What? Some of these questions are so outlandish, I don't actually understand what they mean. All people have their rights, but it's better for all of us if different sorts of people should keep to their own kind. Disagree? I guess. I'm confused. Well, I'm a sick person, so does that mean I'm not allowed to hang out with people who are well? Or something? I've only got to spend time with sick people, so disagree, I'm thinking. good parents sometimes have to spank their children. Disagree. No, I don't think so, no. It's actually, it's kind of an interesting question. I remember my friend, my friend from school was very good at dealing with people who were in a discordant way, I suppose. And he said, sometimes, mate, you just got to smack them around the ear and they calm right down. And I think in that situation, he was right. I said to him, that is not something that I would ever do. But because he's the kind of person who is good at that crowd control sort of thing, I do think that he was right in that situation, that they wouldn't have calmed down if I'd have talked to them. But him just giving a slap round the ear, these people, and it all calmed the situation down. And yeah, so I can see the purpose of the question. However, in the case of parents and children, I do not agree, because that is not a nice way to present someone with the world, I suppose. Okay. It's natural for children to keep some secrets from their parents. I think, yes. Strongly agree. It is natural. That's just how life works. I mean, just because they're biologically, hierarchically above you, it doesn't mean that everything is everything, does it? So, anyway, possessing for personal use should not be a criminal offence. I'm going to say agree. Did it go? Because the only reason it's currently a criminal offence is because of, economy-based thing. Is what we were talking about earlier with the water bottle. How can a water bottle be branded? Well, this is just a plant. How can a plant be branded? So, probably seems to be the right answer. The prime function of schooling should be to equip the future generation to find jobs. Strongly disagree. The prime function of schooling should be to teach what it is like to be a human in the world. In life, Anyway, next question. This is a long quiz. I'm gonna get puffed. Whew. People with serious inheritable disabilities should not be allowed to reproduce. What? Strongly disagree. That's a stupid question. Who would agree to that? Oh my goodness, Oh my goodness. Strongly disagree. Next question. The most important thing for children to learn is accept discipline. What? Strongly disagree, I guess. I mean, that's not important. Is it? There are no savaged and civilized peoples. There are only different cultures. I get it's a complicated question. Agree. Next question. Those who are able to work and refuse opportunities should not expect society's support. I do think that is quite a complicated question. That is quite a mixed question. It's quite a difficult question to answer. Because it depends entirely on the individual person's situation and entirely on how the individual person treats the society's support and how the society's support is able to treat that individual person. So I basically don't have an answer to that question. So I'll have to put something. I don't know. I'll put disagree because it's still quite a bold statement, but I don't really. I think there isn't an answer to that question. Basically, I don't think there's an answer to that question because it really does depend on. Anyway, when you are troubled, it's better not to think about it, but to keep busy with more cheerful things. That's also an interesting question. I would say, okay, I could agree and disagree. I could agree because if you're focusing on something that troubles you, and that's not necessarily an enjoyable way to experience your life. But I could also disagree, because if there is something troubling you, you should be thinking about it because you could overcome it. So,
there is no answer to that question. I'm going to put disagree.
Because I feel that when it says better not to think about it, that is slightly more dismissive than just trying to be just being a cheerful person. So I'm going to say disagree, but there you go. First generation immigrants can never be fully integrated with their new country.
Huh? What? Disagree. What does that mean? People who come over to your country
can never be fully integrated. I disagree. It's a confusing question. Next question. What's good for the most successful corporations is always ultimately good for us all. Well, that's not true. Because, Amazon just wants to make lots of money. Not good for us, because a good example would be something like Netflix, because Netflix, it's just constantly playing. Like when you switch Netflix on, it just plays TV. And so it forces people to just sit there and be stuck in front of their television screen, just watching these random programs just going round and round and round on the screen. And Netflix is making money out of people being sat there and doing that. And they've designed it in such a way that it just makes people just keep watching it. So no is the answer to that question. No broadcasting institution, however independent in its content, should receive public funding. What, so the BBC shouldn't receive public funding? What's public funding? We pay them to watch their content? I don't really know. That's a confusing... These questions are very grown up and confusing questions. No broadcasting institution receive public funding. Disagree, I think, but I don't really understand, so disagree. Next page. How you see wider society. Our civil liberties are being excessively curbed in the name of counter-terrorism.
What? These questions are so difficult.
Our civil liberties, so what's that? Something that we get to do, are being curbed, which means it's getting squished, in the name of counter-terrorism. Agree?
I guess,
A significant advantage of a one-party state is that it avoids all arguments that delay progress in a democratic political system.
Now, I can see the point they're trying to make there, but if you have a one-party state, they're just talking to themselves. Disagree.
Although the electronic age makes official surveillance easier, only wrongdoers need to be worried. That is a disagree because you're being spied on. Just because you're not doing anything wrong doesn't mean that you should be being surveilled. Is that a word? Doesn't mean you should be being spied on. Next.
Oh my goodness.
I like because I read all these out, right? People could just make an edit of this video that makes it sound like Ghosty says all these things, The death penalty should be an option for most serious crimes.
I guess strongly disagree.
In a civilized society, one must always have people above to be obeyed and people below to be commanded.
What? And that's funny.
That statement there, people above and people below, does not go with civilized society. Abstract art that doesn't represent anything shouldn't be considered art at all.
Disagree.
Doesn't represent anything. That's a very strange thing to say. The word art is representation. You can't. That is actually an impossible statement, I think. You can't have art that doesn't represent anything, whether it's abstract or not.
So Should I put strongly disagree? Because, yeah, that doesn't make sense.
That's a well-written question. In criminal justice, punishment should be more important than rehabilitation. Disagree. If you punish someone, they might do it again anyway. But rehabilitation is helping everybody to be better. I don't know. It's a waste of time to try to rehabilitate some criminals. I would say yes, because some people are just like that. There's nothing you can do about it, you know? Some people are just like that.
The business person and the manufacturer are more important than the writer and the artist. I am a writer, actually, so go away. Strongly disagree. I'm a writer myself, so...
Mothers may have careers, but their first duty is to be homemakers.
Oh my goodness. This is so funny.
Well, obviously, strongly disagree, because just because you're a mother doesn't mean you have to be a homemaker, right? The only thing I'll say is that I want to be a mother and a homemaker. I want to have a family, and so from my personal perspective, I want to be the homemaker. So, to blanket every single quote-unquote mother into having to be a homemaker is wrong. But for me, when I get to be the wife, I'm excited to get to be a homemaker. But that's my personal choice, and that's, of course, shouldn't be applied to all, everybody. So, there we go.
Next question.
Multinational companies are unethically exploiting the plant genetic resources of developing countries.
What?
Plant genetic? What does that mean? Multinational companies are unethically exploiting the plant genetic resources of developing countries. I have no idea what that means.
At all. We're going to have to guess. We're going to have to guess what that means.
Let's make up. Multinational companies are unethically exploiting. Let's just say agree. They're unethical. Let's just say that. That's all I know from that word question. So I don't know.
Next.
Making peace with the establishment is an important aspect of maturity. What's the establishment? Let's look that up, shall we? So, the establishment is a dominant group that controls things. Making peace with the establishment is an important aspect of maturity.
Disagree, I guess. I really don't know what that is.
I guess I'm going to say disagree. Next page. Okay, propositions on religion. Okay. Astrology accurately explains many things.
Disagree.
There's nothing wrong with interpreting something for your own personal use, I think, is a sensible way of doing it. It's a sensible way to answer that question. Okay. You cannot be moral without being religious. That's a strongly disagree. That's a silly thing to say. Charity is better than social security as a means of helping the genuinely disadvantaged. Disagree? You can't expect to just have, charity. Yeah, social security is very important. Should I put strongly disagree, actually? Maybe. Some people are naturally unlucky.
Yes. I don't know why, but they just are,
That's a funny question. I'm just going to say agree. I don't know why. I'm just going to say agree. It is important that my child's school instills religious values. Oh my goodness, I would have flipped out. Actually, religion was compulsory at my school, and I used to hate that. Next page. Finally, oh dear, sex outside of marriage is usually immoral. Disagree? I'm going to say strongly disagree because you're allowed to if you don't have to be married to someone just because. Oh my gosh.
If you see a handsome man, you don't have to go through the whole wedding ceremony, do you? Just you look at each other and giggle and then that's that, isn't it?
Okay. A same-sex couple in a stable, loving relationship should not be excluded from the possibility of child adoption. Strongly agree. I think I might have to adopt. So, yeah. Obviously, I agree with that. Oh, I'm not allowed to say that word on YouTube. I'll get taken down. Depicting consenting adults should be legal for the adult population. Yes, it is illegal in some countries, so agree. What goes on in a private bedroom between consenting adults is of no business to the state.
Of course it is, yes.
Strongly agree. No one can feel naturally homosexual. What? Could someone explain that to me? No one can feel naturally Oh, I see. So they're saying that it's unnatural to feel homosexual. Oh, wow, strongly disagree then. I feel... I feel naturally homosexual. These days, openness about sex has gone too far. That's so funny. That is a funny statement.
Disagree, I guess.
Actually, I'm going to put strongly disagree because I think it's the opposite. It's not gone far enough. It needs to be more... it is still very Victorian values, isn't it? It's still very like,
ooh, don't mention that in front of your children or something.
That's not... How can you prepare people for something that's an important aspect of life
if every time it comes up you go, ooh, no, don't talk about it?
Okay, so strongly disagree. Yay, we've completed the quiz. That was such a puff. Oh my goodness. Let's see where you stand. Da-da-da-da. Your political compass. Where am I?
I'm there. That's me.
Show Chine separate window for printing. Claim your free certificate.
Oh, a personalized. Oh, look at that guy. Look at him.
Okay, so look, here we go. Johnson. That's our Prime Minister.
Look at him. He's on the furthest right you could possibly get.
What else have we got? So I'm about there, look. Mandela. That's where I am. I like how it just says Obama and then it just says Russia. That's just the whole thing there.
What's this guy? Pinochet. Look at him at the top flipping right. He must be a crazy person to get up there.
Yeah, there we go. Well, that's about that then. Okay, everybody else got to do it now because it's fun. Okay, bye-bye, and I'm proud of what I got. I think that I would have got that, and I like what I got, so yay.